Hello friends, bienvenidos. My name is Jen, aka Jen Colo on social media, your local witchy friend and intuitive guide through the occult. As always, my lovely husband and co-host is David, aka Premier Pools on social media.
Hi everyone, on today's episode, Jen explains Demonology.
Welcome to the show, grab a chair, make yourself at home. Jen's got stories to share, you'll never feel alone.
Ooh, that's a big one, huh? I'm curious what the people are going to think when they see the title, but I'm assuming we're coming at it as an educational thing and like an anthropological lens as opposed to demons are scary.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the sociology, anthropology.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that. But yeah, we've been on a interesting religious kick lately, so I thought we would spice it up by staying on theme but showing the other coin.
Yeah. And just to be clear, this isn't demon time, right?
No, not demon time.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. But there are some demons that help with demon time. We'll talk about that.
Should we remind people what that is? Because that was popular.
You could do that.
Was it when Beyonce's Lemonade album came out?
I don't know if it was Lemonade, but basically it was like an OnlyFans competitor.
Yeah.
Yeah. They called it Demon Time.
Yes.
Yeah, because people would get freaky deaky on cam. But
Like us.
like us, what we're doing right now. Yes, so demons, what is a demon?
Yes, that's a good question.
That is a good question. And it really depends on who you ask. So to people of certain faiths, especially faiths with black and white, right, wrong, good, evil, demons are bad, tempting, or possessive spirits.
Spirits, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get into this, but one thing that I was thinking about as we were going to record this episode, I was wondering if demons are different than the devil, or like the devil is a demon.
Yeah, again, it depends on who you ask and how they categorize demons. So it's very interesting. It's also interesting, something that people have been bringing up with like religions of good and evil, but more specifically Christianity is like, why would the devil punish you for doing what the devil wants you to do?
Why would the devil punish you?
Yeah, because like,
oh, got it.
If there's a right or wrong per God and you're sent down to hell, why would the devil punish you instead of reward you if you're doing the devil's work?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the way I see it is, and this is just my own interpretation, if you do something bad, no matter what it is, like you're going to the bad place, essentially, which is hell. In my understanding, the place doesn't change. So hell is like the place. That's like the constant. The devil just wants more people there. So he's going to encourage people to do like bad things to get there. Mm-hmm. I think what messes me up a little bit too is the language of it, because I do speak Spanish, and I feel like in Spanish it's a little more prevalent. There's sayings that are along the lines of "son cosas del diablo," which means like those are devil things you don't really say too much in English. I feel like it's more in the Spanish vernacular, specifically possibly the Mexican Spanish vernacular, because I feel like the devil's used a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it's also used in English. We just don't associate ourselves with those types of people.
Yeah.
You grew up in a more progressive area.
That's true.
Yeah. But again, or let me clarify. So this episode is to educate on like what demons and demonology is. I'm not saying like one way is right, one way is wrong. This also reminds me of when I was a freshman in college, we were taking a debate class, and my class was full of Christians, and I triggered them by basically, so my argument was that morality is not universal. It's very black and white. Morality is not universal. It's not black and white. There's like gray. Mm-hmm. So, one of my examples was like the Church of Satan, and then just some other like moral, case studies and things like that. And at first, people were so up in arms. They did not want to stay in class and listen to my speech. Like, I listened to everyone else's speech.
Yeah.
And then my speech was going to come up, and people were pissed. And the professor was like, she's not saying to be satanic. she's saying that the Church of Satan like has some crossover to morals in Christianity, believe it or not. So like hear
chill the
her
fuck
out.
Yeah.
We're in a university, we're in a place of higher education, and you need to be able to listen to opposing viewpoints without getting triggered, basically. So basically, like, I'm gonna wrap this tangent up in a second, but like with the Church of Satan or the Satanic Temple, like one of their tenets is like, don't hurt other people unless it's in self-defense. Like, don't hurt children, don't hurt animals, like things like that. And it's like, well, the Bible and Christians can also agree with that. So how is there this overlap if morality is like so black and white? Anyway.
And to be clear, the Church of Satan is different than Satan worshippers. They're not the same thing. And I think obviously because of the name, and I'm sure it's to invoke, a reaction.
Yes, it is.
They don't worship what we know as a Christian devil. They just call themselves the Church of Satan.
They're spicy atheists.
Yes. The people who worship the devil, I think, are called Luciferians, is their like term.
There's a lot of different names. Yeah. And like types of actual Satan worshipers. But anyway, so just to tie it back to like very similarly to my college class, I'm not saying things one way or another. I'm providing like historical, sociological context, and like you do with it what you will. So to occultists, people that do practice the occult, you could have like a light worker that's like, I only do Reiki and tarot. Like I don't do any dark stuff, to all the way to like, people that do like black magic and anywhere in between. So this is what I mean as occultists, people that aren't scared of like the metaphysical woo-woo. Demons are very similar to any other being, but they're just more honest and blunt compared to like working with saints, working with angels, working with like other deities. So I'll give an example. Working with angels or saints or deities is a little bit more like when you go to a fine dining restaurant, you're going to get fed, but you have to act a certain way and you still have to pay for your meal. But to be like, you have to make a reservation, and then even to be accepted, it's like, oh my God, like I earned the place to be here, even though it wasn't like handed to you.
There might be a dress code.
Yeah, exactly. Versus like working with demons, it's like no frills. It's like that place where you just get in and get out. It's barely like a hi, how are you? It's like, what's your order?
Yeah.
Here you go. So honestly, I would say to occultists, that's really the big difference between working with like other types of spirits versus demons. Demons are just like, what do you want? What are we working on? There has to be a baseline level of respect and like some payment or offering, but for the most part, it's what are we doing?
Very transactionary as opposed to the theatrics of it all.
So demonology is working with demons for that purpose. Yeah. So people across all cultures, all eras, since the beginning of like human spirituality, had some sort of demons. Demons explained disease before we knew about germs and like public health, epidemiology. They explain like madness, misfortune, hysteria, like all the bad things. When they didn't have the science to explain it at the moment, people would blame on demons, and we still kind of do to this day.
Well, one that I had was, when you blame something on something else and you need like an excuse, you call it a scapegoat. And I know the goat is very intertwined with like the devil. So I was thinking about that, and I was wondering if, that is possibly a reason for it. This could be more down the episode, but since I'm thinking about it now, I'll touch on it. I think comes out to like human behavioralism, right? As humans, we behave in a certain way. The things you talk about are the things that are misunderstood or not understood at the time, science-based illnesses. However, a lot of the human behavior that we do, I think, when there's also no explanation other than humans do good things and humans do bad things, it's easy to associate them or have that scapegoat of, well, the devil made them do it, or they're possessed by a demon, or it gives logical sound reason as to why a human would do what they do.
Exactly. So like some of the first demons recorded are from ancient Mesopotamia. they have records of like demonology and like different demons in their culture, like the Sumerians and the Babylonians. If I'm pronouncing this correctly, there was like a child killing demoness named Lamashtu. So she basically was the demon that people would explain illness and like misfortune, as well as like abortion. Abortions just mean that the body is rejecting the being, the fetus, the zygote, whatever you want to call it. So like people can have medically induced abortions, which is what most people think of as abortions, or like miscarriages are a form of abortion. Yeah. So basically she was blamed for, miscarriages, natural abortion, stillbirths, or SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. Like any baby death.
Like baby infant related deaths was attributed to her. Now, did they try to appease her? Like, let's say you're having a baby. Would they do offerings essentially to say, like, don't mess with my baby?
You know what's funny? They worked with another demon to counteract that demon named Pazuzu, which that name might ring a bell to some people.
It's one through line that I'm seeing, though, based on what your definition of a demon is they're very straightforward. So I wonder if it would have been, quote unquote, more effective just to go straight to the source and be like, listen, here's an offering, don't mess with me.
Yeah, maybe. But
as opposed to hiring somebody else to counteract that.
Yeah, but the way that they worked was invoking Pazuzu. So Pazuzu also killed.
Sounds like pozole.
Yeah, Pazuzu also killed. He commanded locusts. He controlled like famine and plagues, more environmental. But he was also used to work against other demons because he had higher rank. So they would be like, hey, Pazuzu, tell Lamashtu to chill the fuck out. Yeah. Like, leave my baby alone. And then you would give an offering to Pazuzu, and Pazuzu, in the mythology, would be like, back the fuck up. Don't touch this child. So, very interesting.
What type of offerings did he take?
Yeah, I did not research that because I was looking at a bunch of different pantheons, but like, there was something invoked to be like, hey, Pazuzu, help me with this
like
specific
interfere
thing.
Here really quick.
Yeah. Just help me out real quick. And then there's a word like daimon or demon in Greek that were not always evil. This is where the word demon comes from Greek. It's a personal spirit guide or an intermediary between humans and gods. So they were like minor spirits that can represent sort of like fate or willpower, or kind of explain why things either go awry, both good and bad. Like it could explain why something bad happens to you, or why all of a sudden something unexpectedly good happens to you. And then there were also these minor spirits or demons of venerated heroes that were, localized with the construction of like shrines. So it's like, oh, this person was like a valiant warrior. Let's make a shrine and make him a demon. But demon was not like
a bad thing.
The bad thing.
Negative association.
It's like a demigod, a spirit between a god and a mortal, so that they don't wander restlessly, and they're believed to confer protection and good fortune on those that offered their respects. What does that remind me of? Angels and saints. We've come full circle of a demon is an angel and a saint, or at least it was in the beginning with like Greek, like mythology and traditions. Something very similar to how the Greeks viewed demons are Islamic jinns. Have you heard of a jinn before?
I have, and we've talked about jinns. I don't remember what episode. Oh my gosh, it might have been in the single digits, but we've talked about jinn on this episode.
So there's something called a jinn in like Islamic, mythology and stuff, which is a whole like parallel civilization. They're like spirits.
Yeah.
They're created from smokeless fire is like their origin. They have free will, morality, and even like their own society and religion. Yeah. It's also where we get the word genie from.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So jinns can be in like different things, like, with Aladdin and the lamp, or people have said that they're like in stones. Like sometimes they can inhabit different things, and people can have like their own personal jinns, or jinns can be wandering and like following you.
They're like Horcruxes from Harry Potter, it sounds like.
There are some good and some bad, and some mischievous and some neutral, like all sorts of jinns, like parallel societies.
Do you remember talking about this?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's very similar to the Greek, thought of like what a demon was. So very interesting. So how did we shift? How did we go from like these demons are like these parallel things to,
They're bad.
They're bad and they're part of the devil. So when Christianity, and we've mentioned this a ton, conquered other civilizations, all of a sudden the things that you were worshiping became bad, became the opponent, became the devil. This is kind of how like Pan. So Pan is like a deity, a being that is like half man, half goat. That's how we got a lot of the symbolic like representation of the devil now being like half human, half goat. Is because like, Europe has conquered a lot of like how we think about the world and spirituality and things like that. So when they conquered and they villainized Pan and they were like, oh, Pan is now the devil.
God.
So that's how we get that.
Speaking of goats, a plug for the movie The Goat. It was really good.
Yes.
It's an animated movie that just came out not too long ago. It's like a basketball movie. Highly recommend.
It's a Sony animation movie. It was really good. Yeah. It was really cute. But yes, when we think of more common demonology texts, such as the Lesser Key of Solomon or the Ars Goetia, a lot of demons have like hierarchies. They have like kings, dukes, presidents. Like,
isn't it cool how as humans, even though they're otherworldly, they're beyond us, they're from the other realm, we as humans have to have these similarities and they must follow the same structures that humans follow. Yeah. So it mirrors feudal and political structures of medieval Europe. Again, Europe had a chokehold on like how we see the world and continue to see the world today. But that's why there are like different ranks, because it mirrored medieval Europe. And speaking of having like a chokehold on how we see things, I saw this very interesting TikTok about like the Middle East, and they're like, Middle East to who? To Britain. Like the Middle East to someone in Australia is more like Middle West. Yeah. So it's like when we, even in our like ingrained language, like to this day, the way that we think about the world, it's like Middle East. It's egocentric based on like Western European standards.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Middle East to who. So very interesting. But yes, the fact that like demons have different ranks in some demonology beliefs shows or implies that summoners could outrank or negotiate with them. Similar to Pazuzu, like Pazuzu held more rank than the demoness. So it's like, hey, Pazuzu, tell her to chill out.
There's patriarchy even in demonology, huh?
Yeah, so the Lesser Key of Solomon, or the Ars Goetia, has named 72 demons, and they each have a specialty. It's not the only form of demonology out there, but it is like the most common and like most accessible form of demonology.
And that's, to your point, the parallels of saints and what would you say, saints and angels, because with the saints, as we've learned before, they also have very specialized roles, and people will pray to certain saints to inquire or evoke, whatever their wish is, and that's very parallel to these demons that have different traits and characteristics, right?
Yeah. It's just that with an angel, like, I mean, you need to respect a demon. You can't just be like, hey, do this, like, that's also bad, but
they won't get as offended, right?
But it depends on, I guess, who you ask. But it's a little more transactional. It's like, I don't have to feel bad about what I'm asking. So for example, with a demon, it's like, I want money because I want money, versus like negotiating with an angel.
You don't need to be altruistic. You don't need to give a covenant. You don't need to say, if I get money, 10% of it will go to feed the hungry. Here's a paradox. Where does the Santa Muerte fall? Because within the name Santa is saints, Saint Death, but I'm assuming they're also associated as a demon, right? Within the context of what you're saying.
Again, it depends on who you ask. It's all in the eye of the beholder. I mean, there's also San Judas, which is Saint Judas, which sounds crazy because Judas, like, murdered Jesus and all that.
Yeah, but Jesus forgave him.
Yes, but like, the Catholic Church doesn't recognize Saint Judas. Saint Judas is used by like the cartel or criminal organizations. Like they pray to Saint Judas for assistance being sneaky. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Santa Muerte, like that's more the folk religion calling her like saint or holy, blah blah blah. It's like it's not from the main religion that they're calling her this.
So to the church, it would be considered a demon. To a practitioner, it might be considered a saint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, depends on who you ask. Yes. Yeah.
It's like the equivalent of gender fluidity. There's spiritual fluidity.
So with the Lesser Key of Solomon or the Ars Goetia, it was compiled around like the 1600s. Again, like very like medieval European, but it draws from much older sources. So it says the Lesser Key of Solomon. So it does come from some of King Solomon's work. Interestingly enough, a lot of these people that are like super, you know, held in high regard in Christianity, like King Solomon and King James, they have some of the like most complete like works of demonology. King Solomon, there's a theory that he did that because like he was actually using demons to like gain all his power and his wisdom.
He was on demon time?
Yeah, he was using them to his benefit. It's like, I'm gonna use you in order to serve the Lord.
Yeah.
Which was kind of interesting. But then King James, he was so obsessed with witch hunts, and he was obsessed and believed that like witches were out to get him. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but this man was like, it was his whole life. Yeah. So he was like, I'm so scared of witches and demons that I'm going to learn everything there is
to counteract.
To learn about. Yes.
What about the most important king of all, King David?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
I was like, I know King David is a real person, but I don't know anything about him.
He was also on his demon shit. You know the story of him and Jonathan, right?
No.
So essentially, King David was like best friends with this dude named Jonathan.
Okay.
Good parallel. My brother's name is Jonathan. My name is David. But King David wanted Jonathan's wife. He like wanted to hit that. So what this fucker did is he sent Jonathan to war so he could die and he could basically bag the best friend's like Betty.
That reminds me of Pokemon. It's like, oh, Professor Oak to Ash. Oh, your mom is single. Go catch every single Pokemon on the planet.
While I stay here and protect her.
Yeah.
So King David was also on demon time.
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the Ars Goetia, you know, it was compiled in the 1600s. It did draw from some of like King Solomon's work. But again, you have to think about like who is the original author of this. It's very European, very biblical. So if you're like, that's not my vibe, maybe these aren't the demons you want to work with if you want to work with them or even just learn about them. But it is some of the more accessible, you know, works on demonology. It reminds me of this guy on TikTok that was like, I'm bored, so I'm gonna learn about demonology. And then people would stitch and they're like, you're a bored white man that wants to learn about demonology. Like, you could have gone hiking, you could have crocheted, but you're deciding to mess with the demons. So funny.
Yes.
But yeah, there are 72 demons. They all do different things. It's so interesting. And in some traditions or some beliefs, there for each demon, there is an assigned angel. So
counterbalance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A chaperone, if you will.
A chaperone, if you will. Yes. So I work a lot with...
Not the buddy system.
Yeah, really. So I work a lot with Archangel Raphael. But a lot of my friends were getting into demonology. I wasn't sure if I was going to get into demonology either, but I was like, I just want to learn about it. I just want to read about it. And one of the more interesting demons to me was King Paimon, because he can bring a lot of knowledge and wealth. And it's like, well, I want that.
Isn't it interesting how a lot of demons, demonology, even Satan is associated with knowledge? Mm-hmm. That's an interesting parallel that I've noticed with these big archetypes. You don't really hear of angels being smart or saints that are smart, but there's always like the forbidden knowledge, forbidden fruit. In this case, you're talking about understanding like more knowledge. I wonder why it is that the demons are the ones that are associated with like knowledge as opposed to angels.
Yeah. Yeah, something to think about for sure. But I saw that, the angel assigned to King Paimon was Raphael. And I was like, oh, shit. I cannot mix. I mean, I probably could. But I was like, I don't want to do that.
Wait, why can't you mix?
Because they're ops. And it's like working with ops is kind of interesting. Like, I just didn't want to do that to my own spiritual practice. There are a lot of people that do.
What does Archangel Raphael do?
Angel of healing and healers.
So you're weighing also what's more important to you, healing or knowledge.
Yeah, this is 100% true.
Yeah.
Yes, I would rather be healthy.
It's a bold move for somebody who has a podcast.
I know, right? I think I could do both. Like, literally, I could work with anybody else except King Paimon. I'm like, okay, they're...
Still doesn't make sense, though. It's just the chaos is too much.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to deal with that right now. I'm just not.
It sounds like you're finding comfort in ignorance, and I don't know how I feel about that, because one of the main things that attracted me to you was your intelligence.
It's like picking and choosing your battles. I'm like, I just don't want to see what mixing, like bleach and what's the other thing you shouldn't mix? Ammonia is like.
This is why you need the knowledge. This is exactly right here. This is why you need to know shit, because you're gonna turn our house into a not safe place. All right. Well, I can't wait to hear more about different demons and what they do after this ad break.
Today's episode is brought to you by us, Kythera Collective. If you've been vibing with the energy of the show, then you're going to love the Kythera Club over on Patreon. It's a space that I built for the cosmic, the curious, and the slightly chaotic. You know who you are. With 3 delicious tiers to choose from, we start with the chocolate level at $4 a month, which gains you access to weekly horoscopes and the exclusive Unhinged podcast, where I say things that don't make it to this main feed. It's sweet, it's spicy, and it's just for you. Next, we have the cafe level at $7 a month. This is where things really start to get cooking. You'll receive access to exclusive workshops, monthly virtual hangouts, and a private Discord community where you can chat directly with me and receive exclusive behind-the-scenes updates. It's magical, cozy, and a little unhinged in the best way. Finally, we have the tequila level. This is the VIP lounge. At $25 a month, you'll receive everything from the previous tiers, plus a personal 15-minute one-on-one session with myself or David each month, and discounts if you want to extend the session. It's a whole vibe and a powerful way to receive personalized guidance. So if you've been laughing along with us, crying, or rage screaming in agreement, come hang out with us at the Kythera Club. Head over to patreon.com/JenCalo and choose your tier. If you want to sponsor an episode and advertise with us, go to our website, www.jencalo.com. All right, now back to the show. Welcome back. So we can't talk about demons without talking about the 7 deadly sins. So like I said, each demon has like a job. And so we'll talk about the different 7 deadly sins and their assigned or associated demon. So we're going to talk about 2. We're going to talk about the Lantern of Light and then Binsfield classification, which is 2 ways to classify demons with the 7 deadly sins. So according to the Lantern of Light, here are the following, correlations. So with pride, we have Lucifer.
The goat.
What? Lightbringer. So maybe not. He was a very handsome angel. The goat, you're thinking about Satan.
It was a play on words.
Oh.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. Yes, the goat. So pride, we have Lucifer, because he was very proud. For envy, we have Beelzebub. Beelzebub. For wrath, we have Satan. For sloth, we have Abaddon. For greed, we have Mammon. El Mamon.
We'll just leave it for the... If you know, you know.
If you speak Spanish, you know. For gluttony, we have Belphegor. And for lust, we have Asmodeus.
Okay, why do I think a lot of these are the same people then? So Lucifer's not the same as Beelzebub, is not the same as Satan?
It depends on who you ask.
Okay.
Well, that's the truth. Because to Christians, it's like, that's all Satan.
Well, but even they acknowledge that that's a Satan. So they're not saying, like, that's not true. So do Christians acknowledge that Lucifer, Beelzebub, and Satan are three different things?
When I was growing up and I was Christian / Catholic, it's like they're just different names for the same.
Ooh, what if that's the anti-Trinity? And what if that's the anti-Holy Trinity?
I was also thinking about that.
Yeah.
Maybe. But to occultists, Lucifer was Lightbringer. He was a very handsome angel that had the power of persuasion and chose to defy God, versus like Beelzebub is a type of like demon, and then Satan is the goat guy that we think of.
And where do the demons come from? Like Fresno? No, but seriously.
Apparently from King Solomon and King James knowledge.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Fresno. Sorry, Mercy.
Then there's Binsfield's classification. They agree Lucifer is pride. Mammon is still greed, so that checks out. Asmodeus is still lust. But for envy, we have Leviathan, which is interesting. And then for gluttony, we have Beelzebub. Mm-hmm. Wrath is still Satan. And then sloth is Belphegor. So
just switched up a little bit. Yeah, like this is very knowledgeable because I did not understand that there was different, I guess, devils in the sense of like, I thought they were all the same thing. But it sounds like there is a differentiator between Lucifer and Beelzebub and Satan and all that. So.
I mean, they're also humans that write off other types of human as one type of human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Like when you get lazy and you have a disdain for something, you think one is all.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a human thing. But really the 7 deadly sins, the demons, they functioned as explanations. It transitioned from like germ theory and all of that to like more internal. Like, why am I struggling with this? Like, for example,
because you should have the devil inside you.
Yeah.
You're like, fighting battles I wouldn't understand.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, let's say someone was struggling with greed. It's like, why am I struggling? Why am I a naturally greedy person? Oh, it's because of this specific like demon.
You're mamon.
Yeah, because of mammon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Y también eres mamón. So there's different types of demons. There's like possessive entities and tempters. So think about like, you know, demonic possession. That's what a possessive entity is.
Like the Exorcist?
Yeah, like takes over your body entirely. You need to be exorcised and all of these things. And then there are tempters, which are just whispers and influence. Like the little angel and devil of like, yeah, just do it. No, that's bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there are two types of demons. But I think in some areas of the world, they still believe in like exorcism. But I think in modern day, demons are seen more as tempters.
I don't know. I think, no, the Catholic Church still has priests that are fully vetted in doing exorcisms. It's not gone.
Yes, it's not gone. But in terms of like mainstream society, like I think
the Catholic Church is mainstream society. They don't talk about it as much. And I think they're more progressive in the sense that like, maybe let's explore mental health. Like maybe let's explore other reasons. But I know, like, recently, they'll still go through the caveat of, like, trying to explain, almost like you do the what is it, normal before metaphysical, right? Mm-hmm. But, like, once they've hit that roadblock of, like, oh, no, like, there's not an actual explanation for what's going on, then they have in the repertoire to use exorcism. So I do believe it's still a very, like, modern practice.
And funny enough, or fun fact about me, that's my favorite type of horror is like exorcist videos. Yeah. So, or movies, I should say, not videos.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, like you know this about me. I like spiritual horror.
Yeah. Sydney Sweeney came out in one recently called The Nun. That was interesting.
Compared to like slashers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the demonology texts, they can also be called grimoires or grimoires, depending on how you pronounce it, which are basically medieval instruction manuals. The content is weirdly practical. Again, practical and transactional. It's like summon this demon to win a court case, summon this demon to find treasure, summon this demon to make someone fall in love with you.
Which one's that one?
There are a lot of them. So like I said, there are the 72 demons of the Ars Goetia.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, we can look at like some of them if you're interested, but
we're not going to put people's business on blast, but you have helped people with like love spells and things of that nature.
But they've been more self-love or like removing love blockages, so it's not like...
Is this one more malintentional, like make that person fall in love with me even if maybe that person... Okay, so it's like you've talked about those like rituals of don't do those because somebody should love you because they love you, not because you drink their underwear water.
Yeah, exactly. So then with demons, there's summoning versus banishing. So to summon a demon, you look at like what demon do I want to summon and why, and then you do the elaborate ritual, and the practitioner's goal is control and not necessarily worship. Again, very transactional. But then when folks feel like, oh, I summoned it and I lost control, like now it's like taking control of me, then there's that banishing element. However, as a more modern occultist or practitioner, here's my 2 cents. Like, if you do invoke a demon, once you're done working with it, you just kind of stop. You say like, okay, thanks, we met our quota for whatever, like we're good.
That's fucked up. Poor demon. I mean, what if somebody did that to you? I mean, if they're paying you, it doesn't matter, but...
Exactly. That's more what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's like you start leaving less offerings, or you're like, this is my last offering. I just
Not the demon temp work.
Yeah, exactly. Freelancer.
Oh, gosh.
TaskRabbit.
Independent contractor.
It's like, our contract is good. At will employment.
You just don't want to give the health benefits.
Exactly. Yeah. Hell no. But I just don't believe that you can be possessed if you don't want to be. That's my 2 cents, but who knows? I don't know everything.
Try it.
Yeah.
Bet you won't.
I'll let you know.
I'll exercise you.
Yeah. So, but a lot of people are like, don't work with them. You think you're in control until you're not. But I mean, we've done like Ouija boards, pendulums.
Weave?
Yeah.
What's this weave shit? I've never done that.
Well, you've ghost hunted with me.
Did I ghost hunt or did I go along? There's a difference between the two.
Did I ghost hunt or was I just there?
Yes. Was I ghost hunting or did I just happen to be there?
Well, I've done a lot of shit that people are like, don't do that. You're going to get possessed.
What if I end up getting like metaphysically hurt because of your bullshit? You say you have protection, but I don't know.
I'll come with a spiritual Glock. Okay. We're good. But again, I think that, I think it really depends on the person, but ultimately, like, if you don't want to be possessed, if you're not like, yes, take over my body, like, I think you'll be fine.
Type of freaky deaky shit are you doing with
Some
demons?
people are like, yeah, help me be successful, like, take over for a little bit.
So you have to give demon enthusiastic consent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But are demons real entities, psychological archetypes, or metaphors for the human shadow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, basically.
Depends who you ask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the people that view demons as literally like only bad, nothing good can come out of it, yeah, they believe they're hostile to humanity. For the people that view them more as like archetypes or metaphors, they see it as personifications of destructive forces within the psyche.
I have a question to challenge you a little bit. So you are saying if you just don't want to be possessed, don't be possessed, right? Now, what happens to the people who are good Christians, good Catholics, who end up being possessed and need an exorcism? I feel like those are the people who would most not want to be possessed. So how would you, in a metaphysical sense, explain that?
That's just hard because my practice straddles both sides of reality, and I also feel like demons were used to stigmatize mental health. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when like behaviors couldn't be explained, like they didn't want to go to like a mental health DSM-5 diagnosis, it's like, oh, they're possessed. So it's really hard because in my practice, it's like I straddle both lines, right? Which is sort of like, you explain it logically till you can't. Honestly, that's a good way to summarize my practice. But yeah, I feel like a lot of those folks like are suffering with something mental health related. If it's like straight up like, I don't know, they're like howling until 5 a.m, like, yeah, that's like a mental health thing. Versus like, I have a porn addiction and it's not my fault, I'm a good Christian, therefore I am possessed. Like, then there's something, a dark side of you that you don't want to like acknowledge yet, and it's easier to put it off on a demon. You know what I mean?
But even in those two scenarios, like, that person's not possessed by a demon. There's an explanation.
I would say so.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't believe basically, if I'm understanding this correctly, and this isn't to challenge you, this is a genuine question. You basically don't believe a person can be possessed by a demon.
No, and the reason why is more, again, this is becoming very biased. Like, what do I believe? Which I don't mind explaining. I very much take my spirituality, demonology, very similar to Carl Jung, which is like the unconscious archetypes in a way of explaining like the different parts of ourselves. So when I say I work with Archangel Raphael, like, yes, I like to study like the lore and the mythology, and it's cutesy and stuff. It's fun to like light a candle, do the thing. But I believe that I'm tapping into the healthiest version of myself. And it's easier to believe, like, even though I know it's basically spicy psychology, even though I know like Archangel Raphael isn't like necessarily its own thing, it's easier for me to like kind of view myself through this kaleidoscope of Archangel Raphael to believe like, oh yes, I can be healthy when I have struggled with these health issues for so long. So by working with him, it's really working with me. But to feel like I have to do this all by myself is really hard. So that's how I view my deity work.
To challenge you a little bit, then why would it be a conflict of interest to work with that knowledge demon if you're using whatever deity, angel or demon, as a tool or a metaphor to hone into those things you want to work towards?
Because it's part of like the ceremonial headspace. It's sort of like...
So you truly are about like riding the fence, right? Like, I want to respect it and follow it as much as possible, but I'm also not completely not completely sold into the fact that like these are true things that if I go awry, things are going to go bad.
Let me explain it in this way. It's sort of like if you're trying to go to sleep and you put on like reggaeton, like, would that help you go to sleep? No, you're not going to be necessarily in the right headspace. And it's like, you can sleep if you really want to. Like, you could be that Mexican kid on the plastic chair. Like, you could sleep through reggaeton music if you really want to. Yes. But it's like, why are you going to make it harder for yourself?
I see. Okay, that's a good explanation.
Yeah,
that's a really good explanation.
Yeah. So my take on demonology. So yes, I feel like these things are like kaleidoscopes of like how to work with yourself if believing in yourself is too hard at this moment. If I were ever to work with a demon, that's not King Paimon. I believe that like demon work is very beneficial for things that don't need like an altruistic explanation. It's like, I just want money.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like, I don't need to explain myself and be like, I want money because then I can donate to causes I believe in. I can shop small. Like, nah, I just want cash. Like, I feel like demon work, it helps with that a lot, where it's like you accept the parts of yourself that society is like, it's bad. It's bad to want money just to want money.
Is that what you were alluding to about demon time earlier? With like, maybe you just want some booty and you're going to use the demons to get it?
Yeah. If you're like, I just want to have a freaky deaky one night stand with this person that I haven't seen in 12 years and I want them to remember me being freaky deaky.
That's
like,
oddly specific. Should I be worried?
No, I've had back-to-back clients and this is like something that we talked about. So that's why it's fresh in my head. And it's also Mercury retrograde, which brings a lot of like people from your past back.
Yes.
But it's like, if you're like, I just want that one night of glory and I'm not trying to fall in love with this person. I'm not trying to build a life. Like, I just want this because I want this. Like, demons are good for that.
Send it.
Send it. Yes, exactly.
Side note, are you proud of me because I used Mercury retrograde in the correct context recently?
Yes, I am.
Yes.
I am proud of you, baby. So yes, I use demonology in the way that Carl Jung would, which is to
hit up your exes from 12 years ago?
No. To sort of explain the parts of ourselves that we reject to project outwardly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's naming when you name the thing, it gives you a relationship that you didn't have to it before. And it sort of helps take away some of that stigma and some of that power.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it just depends on the type of person you are. It can backfire even psychologically to feel like you need to earn something and not just like acknowledge your desires. Like, if you, even in this spicy like psychology take, if you're like, I can only get freaky deaky when I, use the Asmodeus magic, like, that's not good either. Yeah. But if it,
because at that point it's dependency.
Yeah, if it's like a jumping off point, like maybe that's helpful. And that's how I use deities, angel work, maybe someday demon work, like, for myself.
So
and
to be clear, at this point you don't work with demons.
No, I don't.
What's Hecate?
Hecate is like she's called like a liminal goddess, very similar to Persephone, where they straddle like life and death, black and white.
But they're not demons.
It depends on who you ask. Well, if you ask my mom, she's gonna be like, "You're doing some demon shit." Like,
I guess the Christians even think Pokemon is demonic. So.
Literally, okay. Yes. So it's like, what is a demon? Pokemon, depending on who you ask. What does a demon mean, depending on who you ask?
Yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, that is how I explain demonology. Yes. How I may someday use or not use demonology.
Oh, just do it.
I was trying to look up like some of the demons so you can ask like what's the demon for this or that, but unfortunately Mercury retrograde, our internet is being spotty, so I cannot pull it up. But if you type in like the 72 demons of the Ars Goetia, you'll get like a list on Wikipedia, and you could read through each demon and be like, oh, this person does this person does that.
If you look it up and decide to work with a demon, let us know in our comments which one you decided.
And working with demons is like very specific. Like, you have to draw like a sigil, and you have to like do specific things and invoke them at specific times to really get you in that headspace of like, if you believe that demons are real, actually summoning them, and if you don't, just to get in that headspace.
I learned a lot. I came in super blind, and I was expecting to learn, and I did. I think I have a way better understanding of what demons are, and I thought it was a really interesting episode, especially because we're kind of on our religious kick because of the religious holidays right now. Mm-hmm. But all right, it does look like we have some comments in our last episode. Yanni Blogs on IG said, Jack in the Box fish sandwiches were the holy grail for me. Fridays were my favorite day to work at Jack in the Box during Lent. Yeah, I agree. We love Jack in the Box. And
the McDonald's filet of fish.
Yes, the McDonald's filet of fish. And then the Dr. Dino on IG said, I think I love the sandwich filet of fish because it's a great sandwich, and apparently we share a birthday.
Yeah, birthday twin.
A lot of things going on with McDonald's. Right now they're in kind of a little bit of hot water because they had their CEO take a bite of like their new burger, and you could clearly tell he didn't like it. So that was interesting. And Dr. Dino brought that up as well. So it's kind of another comment. Mm-hmm. We do have a few announcements, because it is around that time of St. Patrick's. We have a Lucky Charms event on March 21st here at Luna Luna. So if you have not bought your ticket, go ahead and do so. It's going to be an incredible event. I learned from it that you're not making just these little like bracelets with yarn. You guys are getting like really nice like materials.
Gold and silver bracelets.
So jump on that. That's going to be a really good one.
And very nice charms too. Like, yeah. Very nice.
And then for our Kythera Day, we have a moon mapping workshop through the Patreon on 3/18 at 6 p.m. And you can join that for as little as $7 on the cafe level. And the tequila level is $25. And you have access to that as well.
Yeah, but with the tequila level, you get access to that workshop and a 15-minute session with me or David.
Yeah.
So,
and if people want to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Blue Sky at Jen Kahlo and JenCahlo.com, or Facebook at Kythera Collective LLC. Yeah. And remember, if you like this show, rate it 5 stars wherever you're listening and share it with a friend that might be interested in demonology.
Awesome.
Or demon time.
Well, thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you do decide to work with demons, just be careful.
Yeah. Remember, the magic within you makes the world a more beautiful place. Blessed be, and signing off. Bye.